So, welcome everyone. Some Apple Silicon, ARM Silicon update. I wanted to make this video ready like a week or two, but it's usually a little bit busy. Highly disappointing, right? I made a previous video, Apple DTK stuff. It looks like a Mac Mini, M1. It's mostly identical except the iPad-like PCB in there. And I can't show you much more than probably something like that. Anyway, I was always aware that this is like a one-year program thing, and I was actually reluctant, said this previously. I like not wasting money, cheapskate here like Louis Rossmann, and it's like, yeah, maybe, whatever. Even with our Mac applications here at Extracode, it's like, yeah, is it worth it? Probably not. Yeah, mostly for the YouTube channel, I thought, yeah, maybe something, of course, NDA and non-disclosure agreement stuff, maybe, whatever. So it was like, yeah, 50-50 of, yeah, and then I thought, okay, fine, pulled the trigger, got the thing, mostly, anyway. So highly, I didn't have high expectations, but I was, even my mediocre expectations were highly disappointed. Mostly waste of time as usual with this. I also, since years, don't install beta versions of hashtag Peakbugs, mostly not working, losing data, not upgrades and this and that. Pure waste of time. Don't user test stuff for big corporations. And this thing, so first of all, I said this before, just a 1-minute summary. We didn't get updates, right? So we had the standing here, fired up Xcode, could do some development, test our apps, like our app was mostly working, but we never got updates, right? So 1 month, 2 months, and the updates, this macOS updates indicated there was an update like beta 3, 4, but never installed. And only after like maybe 3 months I became suspicious. So it was always like a random error, not random, like some, whatever, internal error or something. And then only after 3 months, like, this can't be right. Googled this stuff eventually and found other furious forum posts on the internet. And turns out you had to, like, Apple shipped this stuff with some beta, whatever, 1 or 2. And somehow it was partitioned in a way with the firmware and whatnot that it couldn't install updates. You would think a mega corporation like Apple would indicate like, hey, dear developer, to install this update, please once DFU firmware upload things with a second Mac, obviously with some device configuration utility. Super annoying. So a month or 2 wasted just with not getting the freaking updates. This already, it's like, yeah. For me personally, the video outputs mostly didn't work. Highly frustrating stuff. I had here dongles and adapters, and some displays worked, some didn't. At home, for example, ironically, the Dell and NAC Office display mostly work, but ironically, my 20-inch, I think, Apple Cinema display I have at home since 15 years, had a totally strange, like, fading, ghosting. You could work somewhat, but yeah, I also wonder, I really wonder what kind of video output stuff can, like, sync. Also, actually, there's one pixel bar on the left, very first pixel is like bright and everything is off by a pixel or something, and everything is strangely, but this is super crazy. It looks like maybe like 6-bit instead of 8, and it's like totally strange ghosting. But anyway, maybe I made a photo there on my Instagram, but whatever. So long story short, super frustrating experience. First, no updates, display near, and otherwise. Also, a lot of people on the internet, not for us, mostly, as far as I'm aware, but a lot of people on the internet, on the Mac forum on Twitter, say their DTK dies randomly. A lot of people got it swapped, and maybe even some, I think, remember, with a Mac M1, because allegedly this hardware is failing like hotcakes, allegedly, according to other people. And some speculate even that this is done intentionally so that after a year it's dead and you can't continue. So pure speculation, I don't know precisely. But the point of this video, so I was always aware, we need to send this back, YOLO, whatever, that's business investment. But all the Apple fanboys always thought, similar to the original Intel DTK in 2005 or so, they get a nice present from Apple, like a Mac M1 Mac or an iMac or something, I always, on Twitter and maybe somewhere else, YouTube, actually in my own YouTube comments, I think someone commented this on below the previous video or something. I was like, yeah, but you get an iMac. And I always commented like, I'm not so sure Apple in 2005 was something different than Apple is today. And I was proven mostly right. Got an email the other week, like 20 days ago or so. Hey dear, participating in Apple Quick Start program, commitment, blah, blah, blah. Now that the new MacBooks are out, appreciate participation. They want to, so all the fanboys highly disappointed. They thought they get a freaking Mac Mini iMac to keep, but here are $200. I mean, don't get me wrong, unlike Apple fanboys, I'm always, hey, we get $200, it's better than nothing, right? But all the Apple fanboys furious and disappointed, huge, especially given the frustration that was this piece of garbage here, that for some people doesn't even have fan spin anymore. And also for me, last but not least, I am additionally disappointed that I thought the Apple ARM Silicons ship maybe in the first week of January. Of course, they shipped much earlier, good for the customers. I think it was middle of October, so 2.5 months earlier. But this is also my frustration with this. I would never have spent $600 on this loaner unit had I known that it's only 3 months or 3.5 months, something like that, until the retail. I mean, freaking 3.5 months with a mostly broken garbage device. Thank you very much. And this is also hilarious. I mean, maybe they offer like 200 because they want it now, maybe back before the 1 year ends. This is also what? This is everything. So basically, the sum here of all the stuff, summa summarum here of this, highly disappointing stuff, total chaos. The whole thing smells brown from the beginning to the end. I never had such a disappointing experience with anything, probably, except maybe the Vodafone garbage internet here. This is the new Apple, right? All the fanboys know we get an iMac, we get a Mac Mini. It's like, they can't even communicate straight. And some people claim, like this famous Stephen Thornton Smith here on Twitter, they claim that to get them because they were also, this is also hilarious, right? Famous developers who have allegedly good sales on the App Store are they often featured, editors pick and sell there in the top listings. Even they say, so it's not only me, right? So very popular, famous Apple developers like, I'm not giving Apple more money. I want my money back. I want more. I don't want to buy another Mac. So not even my little company here, but also other famous people. And they apparently shouted and complained so loud that they got here allegedly some, yeah, okay, we hear you. Thanks. Wait a second. Instead of 200 expires in May. Also, yes, it's 200 expires in May because now, January, February, March, April, May. Give you 500 credit towards an M1 Mac or something. And I didn't got this, so right, so all the Mac fans already happy, but I don't know another single person. So this is also, Apple told some people who were complaining a lot, like, okay, fine, here are 500. I didn't get the second email. I got nothing since that original email here. And I said this before, I wanted to order an M1 Mac because this thing is such a piece of garbage. I actually wanted to try QEMU and certainly Linux natively, which you all can't do with this DTK. Also, yeah, virtualization is not working because certainly no hardware virtualization support on your old iPad and iPhone SoC here. So the whole thing is like, yeah, the stuff you want to test not supported. I wanted to order an M1 Mac, somehow they currently don't allow me. Always said this before. Despite we have money and valid credit card, somehow it's always unexpected error. Not sure if we are blocked. I said this before, not kidding. I even called my bank, what is wrong with our credit cards? They said, no, nothing. Why? No, we don't see anything from Apple. So maybe I shouldn't hold this. I don't know. Probably it's unexpected error, but who knows? Yeah, couldn't even order an M1 Mac. And this is also the shady thing here of this bloody money return thing. if I now finally order an M1 Mac because testing Linux and virtualization and have something that's maybe less broken, although there are reports on the M1 Mac, there are also people with display problems, so much to Apple's amazing silicon. There are some purple pixels for some people or something. Maybe I make a dedicated breaking news video there. Yeah, so run, but even with this, so hashtag peakbugs also in M1 final silicon, apparently. Everything is, so yeah, everything is hilarious, everything is hashtag peakbugs, everything is so 21st century, and Apple is, according to my findings, the new Microsoft. I said this before, they are not your friends, they are just a big bean counting Tim Apple business, and not the lovely cute little Steve Jobs company they probably also never have been. Anyway, if you have any findings to this, leave in the comments below. For me the question is, should I just like lose it, like you know, home office, and I don't know who took it last, and yeah, sorry, and it's can't find it, and not take the $200 or $500 and like have a collectible paperweight here for my collection between the SG Octane and the PS3. I mean, what should they do except charge us more for lost goods? Otherwise, anyway, leave in the comments below. I mean, if they hand out if they hand out money to people to return it, could certainly probably lose it. I mean, I wonder. Probably could just open it. I'm actually curious. I googled a couple of times. I honestly didn't open it yet because warranty and Apple wants it back. It would certainly give probably some views. Also, yeah, if I would be like other people of iFixit kind of, let's just open it or something, probably would grow the channel significantly faster. Actually, yes, it's coming quite a I wonder, however, if they have a hardware kill switch in there. Of course, some people speculate that this thing is falling, maybe not an NVRAM battery, only NVRAM supercap or something. I'm speculating here, right? I didn't open it. But some people on Twitter say, with claiming knowledge to that matter, that the hardware is designed to fail. Again, pure speculation, I don't know. But if I would do that hardware supercap capacitor, instead of an NVRAM battery, if the NVRAM is ever empty because it's standing for some weeks or something, just doesn't boot anymore because no NVRAM or something is the easiest thing to do. Or just put a micro switch in here. I mean, if you wanted to do that to an extreme, the simplest thing, some kind of switch sensor that immediately discharges whatever, for example, NVRAM capacitor or something. Again, didn't open that, but leave me in the comments below. Anyway, that's it for this IT frustration 2020 and 2021. Everything pretty shitty, especially Apple prototype stuff, so developer support and end user hashtag peakbugs. Let's see, we have some comments, and then it's time to continue some non-Netrix rights are there and DTKs out there. Yes, I've seen multiple posts over the years on Twitter. I never, because back in the day it was like, I have enough x86 stuff, not ordering this stuff from Apple. So I did not have one. A customer of mine had one, and maybe my customer even once mentioned they didn't return it, maybe. But I also saw a lot of photos and even people finding that on eBay. So there are people posting photos of that on Twitter and what is this, a Flickr, I think. So yeah, people apparently kept it. Of course, I think back in the day they swapped this with an iMac. Even that I didn't know, to motivate people to return it. But yeah, if they didn't return it, they didn't got an iMac, obviously. Mark writes, people don't learn Apple products away with behavior, trying to get... and again, for me, I said this again, I'm actually not of those Apple fanboys. I was actually completely fine with returning it. I'm, however, not fine with shipping such a broken device that we could barely use, where updates didn't work, where display doesn't work properly, doesn't work properly, where virtualization doesn't work. Like the one thing you freaking want to test, virtualization, it's like, yeah, thank you very much, Apple, or booting another OS, right? The few things you freaking need to test, well, need to test, but yeah, more interesting to test. Sounds like the DTK is going to be a rare collector's item. Yeah, so that is exactly the thing, right? So for us, it's only, again, it was like, was it a real help? It's like, yeah, not really. You could compile your code on Xcode anyway. You got the same compile errors whether you used Xcode on an Intel Mac. It's mostly it was significant waste of time for us. Very, very, even with our driver stuff. I mean, we found one compiler difference, which probably a previous video with Clang should actually verify if Clang behaves the same with this integer float to or float double to integer casting. That would actually be interesting to know. Otherwise, we certainly have enough ARM devices. Actually, and this is also, I wish the way cooler thing from Apple, but maybe they intentionally didn't want that, would have been to provide a special build of macOS for iPad, but probably they didn't want this Mac, because I mean this is a freaking iPad, right? iPad or iPhone PCB in a kind of probably partially redesigned. It's the same SoC, so it would have costed Apple zero and would probably have been significantly more comfortable for developers if they would just released a macOS build for iPad. They could have even locked this to the serial numbers there and digitally signed it like they do only for those registered developers. That would have cost them zero, would have produced also more environmentally friendly, right? Because Apple wants to be so green, not producing any garbage hardware to return and recycle, and just use a freaking iPad. They could have even kill switched that if they desperately wanted so, but yeah, probably they didn't want any precedent of having macOS kind of builds for iPad around there, something. Anyway, Marcus is more happy with Octanes here, coming soon. I actually need to peel out the impact, SG impact driver patch from my failing BetterFS virtual machine image. Anyway, that's it for this video. And maybe in some years I disclose what happened with that thing. Now after I peeled so much on this bottom, I probably should plug it in and see if it still freaking boots. Not that I actually hear this is coming a little bit, probably not the most visible, but not that my pulling around on this thing initiates some hardware kill switch, but no, probably not. Anyway, also for me, this is also, Apple is really, so this is really the last thing. Apple is really, in my opinion, stupid that they made this such a shitty experience. And if they really wanted this piece of collector's garbage back, they should have made the whole procedure more comfortable, because I'm freaking waiting since 20 days already what's now going to happen with this piece of bullshit, because I don't really want to waste money on an M1 Mac Mini. And yeah, if they would have made this collection thing, if they really didn't want this out for some reason, which the whole thing is also stupid, right? I mean, they could have just given this piece of stuff to the developers. They have some collectible item and they don't have any return recycling cost, and people buying another Mac. This would have been so simple, but yeah, Apple in 2021 is not simple anymore. Profit maximization. They could have also, for developers who support this platform, again, you had to be a registered developer and be approved for this shit, made them a favor. They could have even kept supporting this for like the whole macOS 11. That would have actually been the finest move from Apple. Just €500, not return and recycle, but keep the thing as a souvenir, even support it for a year properly in macOS. I understand they don't want to keep supporting that forever, but just macOS 11, Big Sur, not 11 or 12. But yeah, that it could have all been so easy, but it isn't. And that's it for today. I hope you learned something.